Good morning, everyone. I'm going to take a short little walk, talk about things this week. It's hard for those of us that know what's going on to convince the world that we know what's going on, because they're lying about it every day. It's also hard to think about, when are we going to get raptured, because there's no hope for the world right now. The only hope is in Jesus, and that's at the end. They have to go through all the horrible stuff that we're told about in Revelation. So we have to get from here to there. Now, the rapture will rescue us from all the really bad stuff, but seeing the world destroyed deliberately in front of you is not easy to watch. We've got and I use his fake name, Charles Schwab. It sounds like that. He is succeeding because Satan's helping him. He is part of the harlot. They are doing exactly what they want to do. They've got their 2030 agenda, and they're ahead of schedule, by the way. They're destroying this planet by getting in, putting his people everywhere. I'm going to sit down for a bit and finish this here. So let me switch direction. Okay, so as we look at what's happening, and people just don't want to accept it, they don't want to believe it, that it can't be this well organized. Satan is well organized. Don't call him short. This whole plan is happening because Satan has a plan. And his people, which are a lot of the rulers in this country, look at Canada, look at California, look at France, Germany. All these people are prodigies of the World Economic Forum. They go to their annual meeting that they have every year. Kamala Harris's husband is a key speaker at the World Economic Forum and around the world. They're all part of this great reset. That's what they do. That's their job. Their job is to destroy every country that they can from within and then replace it with their government. Charles Schwab is a Nazi, plain and simple. There's a dictatorial military version of communism. What they're doing in China today, he wants to implement around the world. They have cameras everywhere. In China, if you're caught jaywalking with facial recognition, they know it's you. They don't send you a ticket. They send you a notice and take money out of your bank account. And it also goes to affect your, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Your social status score. There's a word for that. I can't think of it. I'll try to look it up. But you have a social status score that they've arbitrarily assigned everybody. And if that gets really bad, you can't go anywhere. They want 15-minute cities. You can't go or live outside of that 15-minute range and work and do anything. You've got to stay within that 15 minutes. That limits where they have to control you. And if you get a bad social score, they will lock you down to where you can't leave that. And how do they do that? With global positioning satellites and with our smartphones, they know exactly where you're at. If you try to go outside of that and you've been restricted, your debit card, because that's all you're going to have, you're not going to have a cash or a credit card. Your debit card will no longer work outside that range. They want electric vehicles around the world. Why? Because they can shut them off. They can deny you the ability to charge them if you're being, obstinate with them. If you're not doing what they tell you to do, They can basically starve you to death. They don't have to do anything else. They don't have to come around and shoot you. That's only the beginning. Once they've eliminated all the people that they don't want to have to deal with, because they figure they're too, there's 3.5 billion guns in the United States or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's not billion, but million. There's so many guns in the United States that if the government were to get out of line, they wouldn't be able to do anything. The military would step down if they were told to shoot their own people right now, but that will change. And they're using food. If you just look at what's happening all around the country, food processing plants are being destroyed. Food processing land is being bought up. Bill Gates is part of this. He's the largest landowner in the United States, private landowner. The government owns what he doesn't. And he doesn't like beef. So if you like a good steak, I would go out and eat them every meal I could, because it's not going to be much longer. Chicken, they don't want you eating any meat. They want you vegetarian and eating bugs. They've already said that. None of this stuff is conspiracy theory. All this stuff is out there right now. They're not hiding it because they don't think, and rightly so, that there's anything anybody can do about it, because Satan's behind them. As I've said before, Satan's only doing this because God's allowing him to do this, because this is what the world wants, a world without God. They're going to see just exactly what a full world without God is, and they're not going to like it. But Satan's going to continue to lie up to the very end, and these people are going to think that it's God doing it to them. It's God punishing them. No. You haven't seen God punish anybody. Now, the wrath of God will be poured out in the second half, but the first half is establishing this one world government, setting it up so the Antichrist can take over. They keep ratcheting up the level of war in Israel. Israel's been attacked now, so now they have to respond. No country in the world has ever been hit or targeted with as many ballistic missiles as Israel just was. That's a precedent. And they have to respond. Got my neighbor friend here coming out here. I'm going to wave to him. He rides a motorcycle. Motorcycles are fun, but I wouldn't want to have that as my sole transportation. But we have to give up on any dreams we might have of this world and just know we're in a survival mode right now. All of us, every one of us on this planet, we're in survival mode. I keep telling you the prep. You don't know what natural disasters are going to happen, and you also don't know what governmental disasters are going to happen. We still have this massive chemical fire east of here. It's a long ways from here. I mean, it's 2 to 3 hours away. I don't have to even think about it from my point of view. But it's an area where I used to work a lot. Conyers is in Rockdale County, and there's a number of studios there. I worked on The Resident there and some other TV shows and films. So I know the area pretty well. It's very dense, and there's a lot of people who have had to evacuate. Just little things like this just keep happening. Are we going to get hit with another hurricane? I don't know. Nobody does. We could. There's three named systems out there now. The one that's coming up through Mexico and up into the Gulf is following the same path as Helene. Will it form? We don't know. They've got multiple models, and there's not one that they can depend on. So they just throw them all up there, and you take your best guess. We've got all kinds of things in this country that can go wrong. A lot of that is reserved for later on into the tribulation, so we don't have to worry about it, but this stuff just happened. This hurricane just happened, and we're here. If you're a Christian and you live in that area and you did not prep, and you're still alive because it killed a lot of people, we're over 100 now, and they're saying that there's 3,000 missing. That doesn't mean that they're dead. That just means that there's not enough of an infrastructure for people to contact anybody to let them know they're still alive. This is today. There's a war going on in the Middle East, and we're dealing with a massive, unprecedented hurricane. And we're still in hurricane season. This world is getting to be very difficult. We've got an election coming up. What are they going to do to not give up power? What can they do? I've talked about this in the past. I'm afraid that even if the big T gets elected, that they've already got all their people in place up and down all the different branches of government, that they could just basically ignore him and do what they want to do. You think all this money went to Ukraine? No. No one in their right mind would send that much money over there. It's being laundered and sent back here, and they're hiding that money in all the different organizations that they've got control of. It's totally against the law, but they feel they're above the law. They can do whatever they want to do. You can't lose heart because we know where we're going. Jesus, what is it, 14:2? Said, I go to prepare a place for you. And this is the Son of God going to prepare a place for us. So we've got a perfect, excellent future. So all that's happening now is not for us. We're already set. We've already got the golden ticket. We just got it in our pocket and we're ready to go. We're trying to tell everybody else. That's our job right now, is to get the word out and tell everybody. You can't miss the things that are happening. It's obvious because they don't hide it. Google Kamala Harris and World Economic Forum. Do the same with Biden. Do the same with Trudeau. All these people that are in place all around the world, they're placed there by this organization, and they're slowly taking over. The UK has become useless. They're not really doing a whole lot to help anybody, Israel or anybody else. They're going to collapse. We're going to collapse. I had, plans, my original plan, not knowing when the rapture is, that I was going to try to buy a house. I've got the VA to do that. But God doesn't want me to do that. Because if I could get a house, I could move my son in with me and I didn't have to drive all this distance. So my plan B, not knowing when we're getting out of here, is it this month? If it is, I can have plans. Everybody should have plans. Whether you can do anything about them or not. You can't implement them if you don't have a plan. If all of a sudden you've got lots of money and time and you don't have a plan, what are you going to do? You're going to waste time and money sitting around. So have a plan. You think Obamacare happened because they got control and immediately started writing it out? No. They had it already written and in a drawer and just ready to pull out as soon as they got control. Have a plan. The enemy does. We should too. Our plan is, of course, to trust Jesus, but he's going to give us earthly tasks to do to accomplish things. I'm hoping that I can get into a RV, a small one, by December. That's my plan, if we're still here. So that's what I'm working towards. The RV is going to help me to continue doing this ministry. It's becoming more and more evident that being in a tent is problematic. And I think that he allowed me to get this kitty cat to show me that I've got to be in something that's a little bit stronger than what the cat can rip apart if he wanted to get out. He's in the tent now, but he's not big enough to really tear the tent open. I've got a couple of holes in the sides that have gotten poked because the material's getting old. Tents last about a year. An RV, well, I don't know that I need to have anything longer than that, but if I have to keep setting up and closing down and setting up and closing down like I do at state parks, an RV would make it easier, but it costs more. God will take care of it. My Father is the richest person in the universe. He'll provide all the needs that I have as long as I'm working for Him. And it's the same for you. If you're doing the work of the Lord, He will give you everything you need to do it. I don't care if you need to have a 747 next week and you haven't got one today, it will magically appear on your doorstep. Now I say magically, I'm being sarcastic. And 747 on your doorstep is also being sarcastic. But the bottom line is God could do it, if it was to help you further your work that you're doing for Him. Ask anything in my name for my purpose, and you have it. Believe, and you have it. Faith. So, whatever plans you have on this world, understand the direction the world's going. They don't want you to own land, property, any kind. If you do, they will probably take it away from you. Or they will run you into the ground so far with your money situation that you can't afford to stay there. You won't be able to buy food without them. The mark of the beast is going to be coming pretty soon. Digital money in itself is not dangerous. It's actually pretty smart. But it gives them control. That's the downside. When they do the mark of the beast, we won't be here. So we don't have to worry about it. So I'm not afraid of digital money because I'll be gone before they fully have it implemented. And it's out there now, right now, digital money. Keep your eyes focused on our future and do your work today to help other people find that same golden ticket that we've got. It's open to everybody. I don't care how bad or mean and nasty these people are, how much you hate this person or have to deal with this person every day. God died for that person too. Do your best to hand off your anger with this person to Jesus and let Him deal with it. He has to work on anybody's heart that we're going to talk to anyway. The Spirit does the work, but if the Spirit doesn't prepare the ground, doesn't till the ground, doesn't prepare the soil, the seeds will be thrown away. And there's not enough time to throw seeds in the wrong spot. So the Spirit will prepare the hearts of anyone that we're supposed to talk to. And maybe God will use us to help prepare that soil. We tell them the truth, they can reject it and walk away, but they're going to think about it. If you present it in a good, positive way, they're going to think about it. The next person comes along might be able to take a little bit further or to finish the job. We don't care whether or not we convert people. It's not our job. Our job is to simply present the truth and let their hearts work on it, turn on it. And at the right time, the Spirit will be there to welcome into the kingdom. So, pray for those that are not saved yet. They desperately need to find the truth. We're going to be out of here soon. When's the rapture? I don't know. This would be a very good month, according to all the calculations. The Feast of Trumpets is coming up. The last trump. Donald Trump could be the last Trump. I mentioned that in my last video. If they eliminate him, he's the last Trump. The last Trump that would run for office anyway. Be of good cheer, for he has overcome the world. We just simply have to exist in it, doing the will of God until we're out of here. And if it's not the rapture this month or next month or even next year, it doesn't matter. We still have the same task to do. Be of good cheer and share that with others. Till we meet in the clouds. God bless. You can see that dark band. You see where all the trash and the logs and stuff are along there. That's how far the water was. And look, it's already back down. Now I'm seeing fish jump out in that water, so you could probably catch some fish, but that water is not deep. You could probably walk all the way across that water. It might be a couple feet deep in spots, and I don't know what the mud's like, but that's it. I hear a lawnmower behind me, so I'm going to try to get my video going real quick. Blessings, everyone.